Look at this wave. Welcome to the official YouTube channel of Eternia.com. I'm your host AJ, and today we're doing an unboxing and a, speedy review of the Masterverse WAVE 14. That's right, we're doing the entire basic core wave of figures in one video. And some people might be thinking this is unusual, but we actually did this before, way back in Wave 7, where I tried to be more of a serious reviewer. You know, I was trying to hold my personality back. That didn't work well. But now, 7 waves later, I figured, why not do it again? And what a terrific wave to do it with, right? So the Wave 14 basic core wave consists of the Battle Armor Skeletor from the new Eternia subline, the Sorceress Teela from the Masters of the Universe Revolution subline, Merman from the new Eternia subline, and Man-Of-War from the Masters of the Universe Revolution subline. And I can't wait to take a look at these figures, but I do have a bone to pick real quick with the names here. Sorceress Teela, come on. I mean, in the solicitations during Mattel's catalog, they actually called this Snake Sorceress Teela. We already have a Sorceress Teela. Why make 2 figures named Sorceress Teela? If they come out with the, Havoc Staff Teela, is that also going to be Sorceress Teela? When they come out with the Tri-Sorcerers, is that also going to be called Sorceress Teela? When someone's talking about Sorceress Teela, no one's going to know which figure they're talking about. And then the other bone I have to pick is with Man-Of-War. You know, they actually called this on the solicitation Man-of-War Duncan. And now it's Man-Of-War. I don't know. Make up your mind. But seriously, now that I got that out of the way, it's time to take a look at these figures. So first, let's start with the Battle Armor Skeletor. Let's just look at this amazing packaging. Now, this beautiful artwork was illustrated by Simon Eckert, and I can't believe we haven't gotten, a King Hiss yet. It's been teased on this box, but we didn't get King Hiss yet. But at least they showed us Evelyn is coming. They showed us at San Diego Comic-Con. Can't wait for that. So now we got new Eternia Battle Armor Skeletor in 360 degrees. And my first impression is, wow, hot diggity. Look at this figure. He looks fantastic. Let's just start with that purple paint. Look at that sheen on it, that metallic purple paint. It looks so fantastic. And same thing with the black trim. It's sort of black charcoal, and it looks like it's got some wash to it everywhere. Oh, it looks absolutely fabulous. And same thing with the spikes on the helmet and on the shoulders. Look how well this is sculpted. This is just absolutely brilliant. And same thing with the cloth. Even though this cloth isn't really cloth, it's soft plastic, but it looks like it. It looks better than the Horde Skeletor cloth that we saw. It's just amazingly brilliant, soup to nuts. And here's the head sculpt looking absolutely brilliant. And I love this helmet on top, and the horns are kind of reminiscent of the Revelation Skelegod. They look so cool. And of course, the helmet is removable, and there is Skeletor's head. He's wearing what looks to be one of those chainmail coifs, I believe they're called, that they used to wear in medieval times. And I'll tell you, this head sculpt is going to give all the Masterverse Skeletor head sculpts a run for its money. It looks so great. And I love the red beady eyes. It looks like, unfortunately, the paint was a little sloppy on mine. They got a little of that red on the yellow skull face. Just a little bit, unfortunately. Maybe I could paint over it. But otherwise, it's a fantastic head sculpt. And as far as we know, it's articulated. Yeah, look at that. And it's a tight articulation. So there you have him with his mouth open. And of course, you could just close his mouth right up. So when it comes to articulation, Skeletor does not have drop-down hips, but he does have the double-jointed elbows, which is nice. And even though he has this hanging down here, this is all soft plastic, so he's going to have great range of movement with his legs. And even with the horns on the helmet, he's going to be able to turn his head completely 360 degrees and look up and look down. And the only restriction with the armor is going to be the shoulders. If you want to lift his arm straight up, he's not going to be able to do it. However, if you want the muscled look, you could go ahead and remove the shoulder armor And then Skeletor is going to be able to lift those arms straight up. Skeletor's battle armor is completely removable. So in regards to accessories, Battle Armor Skeletor doesn't come with an extra set of hands, which is surprising for Masterverse. But he does come with a replacement battle damage chest plate, this great looking axe, and also this sword, which I believe is a reuse from the new Eternia Barbarian Skeletor figure. Replacing the battle armor chest plate is pretty easy. All you have to do is use your fingernail and pry out the current one, and then you just pop in the replacement. What's also nice about this battle armor Skeletor is the breastplate doesn't protrude out like it does with the Masters of the Universe Revolution He-Man figure does. You know, that one protrudes way too far, looks very strange, but this one's more flush with his chest, and this one looks great. And here's the Battle Armor Skeletor with most of the other Masterverse Skeletors. I believe the only one I didn't pull is the Virgil Abloh Skeletor and the 40th Anniversary Skeletor. So overall, I really love this Battle Armor Skeletor. I mean, he looks terrific, you know, from head to toe, from his sculpting to the paint applications, to the colors used, to those accessories. I love those weapons. If I have any gripes, it would be that he doesn't have like a sheath for his sword or a loop for his axe. He always has to hold his weapons. And I wish he had some forearm armor, you know, some purple forearm armor with maybe some spikes on it to sort of balance the look. Right now, his forearms kind of look naked. But other than that, this is just a fantastic executed figure, and they did a good job with this one. So next up is the Masters of the Universe Revolution Sorceress Teela, and let's take a closer look at this artwork. Once again, the artwork is by the brilliant Simon Eckert. He's actually done all the artwork for these figures. It looks so great. And now focusing on this figure, you know, this figure has been anticipated by a lot of people, including myself. And my first impressions, wow, I like this figure, but this figure definitely has some issues and some questionable choices, including this snake dress tail she has. What the heck is going on? So this is what I'm talking about. This pattern for Teela's snake dress fabric, I think the pattern is accurate. But to be honest with you, I don't remember it being this long. Look how long this is. Up, 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 up. Look at this. I mean, I think this would make Whiplash jealous. This is really long. Long like a long tail in a wedding dress. Was it this long in Revelation? Maybe it changed sizes in different parts of the series, but I remember it, you know, touching the ground, but being a lot shorter than this. Oh, well. So what else here? It looks mostly screen accurate. The belt looks right. The black looks right with these markings. But it's missing markings in the back of the head. Look at that. Yeah, so it's not completely screen accurate. And the paint kind of looks sloppy. I mean, look at the head. I mean, not just the gold markings in the snake head, but look at here. Look at the sloppy paint. Oh, that's frustrating. Oh, and she has sloppy paint in her ankles too. Underneath her feet. Oh, man. Look at that. Oh, look, the seam, or there's like a crack in the plastic on her waist. Check that out. And it goes through the belt. Mattel Quality Control, where were you? Oh, come on. You guys are killing me. So it mostly looks good, but boy, there are some issues with this figure. All right, so I just checked the source material, Masters of the Universe Revolution, in regards to Teela's, you know, tail dress, and it does change lengths during the show. I think most of the time it's a shorter length, but sometimes it's a longer length, and I think it really only suits the scene. You know, if there's a lot of characters around and animators need it to be short, they're going to make it shorter. So in regards to a collector's shelf, I probably would have preferred it to be a little shorter. I don't need it this long, but that's just me. But at least we have our answer. So in regards to articulation, Sorceress Teela is going to be great here. She has double jointed elbows, so she's going to be able to do some great stuff with her arms. She also has drop down hips, so she's going to have great articulation with her legs. She's going to be able to do so many things. Essentially, I think the only restriction we're going to have here is head turning. So with this headdress, I don't think it's removable, is it? It's soft plastic. Now there's no hair in there, and that's glued. I mean, I think you can get this off, but it's not supposed to come off. So in regards to head articulation, that's the only thing that's going to be restrictive. You know, she's really not going to be able to look without at least looking very awkward, but she's not going to be able to turn her head that much up or down or left or right. But other than that, her body's going to have great free range of movement. So in regards to accessories, Sorceress Teela comes with these spellcasting hands, which has these great painted fingernails. She also comes with this magic effect. It's translucent, soft green plastic, which is very cool. I think we saw this in the show. And of course, we also saw this in the show, the Staff of Ka, which looks really good. I know some people are going to get this and say, oh no, my staff was warped, but it's not warped. I believe I remember in the show that this actually has a natural curve to the staff. It has an actual bend. So if you get it this way, it's supposed to be this way. Don't fret. In regards to the paint, boy, does this look good. I think the eyes are supposed to be not orange, but green. Not 100% sure. That's the way I remember it. But otherwise, this looks fantastic. So looking closer at this headdress, it's soft plastic, but it really is a nice sculpt. But I'm so distracted about the paint problems. Look, you can even see some worse paint problems on the side there. See that over there? Looks bad. But then what's really glaring is on this side it looks okay, but on the other side, the seam, look how bad that looks. Mattel, you're killing me here. Yeah, that doesn't look good at all. So I'm still really happy with this Revolution Sorceress Teela. I think most of my complaints come to quality control, and I hope my figure is more an anomaly, and most of the figures that everyone receives out there will be much better than this one. But if I try to look past all of those quality issues, the paint mishaps, the crack in the plastic, overall, I think it's a very well executed. It's a pretty figure, right? It's a beautiful figure. And I do think this is a little too long. And there is some, screen accuracy issues. But overall, they pretty much nailed the look. And I do really like this figure. So now it's new Eternia and Merman's turn. Come over here, Merman. And once again, we're looking at the great artwork by Simon Eckert. Oh, man, look how he does it. It's so good. So here he is. Look at this. Look at this amazing paint job. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Starting with the leg armor. Look at that. Look at that. They replicated, a great copper patina effect. When copper deals with oxidation and it starts turning that green, look how fantastic that paint job looks. Then I don't know if it comes across on camera, but there's a great wash in the legs. And then look at the arms. It's like they're airbrushed. And the yellow just bleeds into the green. How great is that? And then look at the armor and the seahorses. And then same thing here with the armor set. It has that patina effect. Look at that. Oh, it's so well painted. Wow, this is so terrific. And look at the airbrushing in the ears as well. It's so well painted. So well sculpted. This is amazing. The only concern I have is the eyes. It looks like the eyes are not completely clear. It actually looks like there's some glue on them. I'll try cleaning them, but I have a feeling this is not going to come off, or it's scratched. The eyes kind of follow you, and at first when I saw promotional pictures, I thought, hey, maybe this is like some sort of lenticular effect, or maybe it's articulated in some way. But then some great fans in the community was like, no, AJ, it's probably the glass eye effect. And indeed, it's a glass eye, but it doesn't work as well when they're cloudy. Hopefully it's just mine and everyone else's mermen are not going to be that way. Because otherwise, that's the only thing here spoiling a perfect figure. So when it comes to accessories, Merman comes with 2 additional webbed hands. He comes with his iconic corn on the cob sword. This one's curved here. And it looks like it has a little knob so he can actually, quote unquote, sheathe it on the back. Pop this in here. This is great. And I love the little gemstone here and the wrap. Looks so good. And then finally, Merman comes with this terrific spear. So in regards to articulation, this Merman has it all. First, he has drop-down hips. Look at that. And add that to the soft plastic, and you're going to get an incredible range of movement in his legs. He's going to be able to do a lot of things. And in his arms, he has double-jointed elbows. So same thing, great range of movement with those arms. And even though his armor is removable, you can still get his arms pretty high with the armor on. And his head, of course, swivels 360 degrees and can look up and down. Good job, Merman. Here's Merman with his armor off. And here is Merman with his Masterverse Merman brethren. Zor have mercy. Who knew I needed another Merman? You know, I thought I was satisfied with my Merman figures, and then this new Eternia Merman comes along. And I tell you, if it wasn't for those cloudy eyes, I think this figure would have been perfect. I mean, perfection. And now I have to seek one out with good eyes. And hopefully mine, again, is just an anomaly. It's frustrating, but hopefully it's just me. Got another bad one, and there's not a lot of bad ones out there shipping to you. But what a great figure. So last, and hopefully not least, we have the Masters of the Universe Revolution Man-of-War figure. And once again, for the final time, we need to thank illustrator Simon Eckert for these brilliant illustrations on these packages. Because when it comes to Motu, it's not just about the figures, it's about the artwork too. Thank you, Simon. So here he is, Man-At-War. To be honest with you, I had trouble standing him on this dais. You know, he has some balance issues. And when I try to use a stand, he actually has boots with treads on them. So there's too many gaps there. So even though they have holes in the feet, they won't properly grip the peg on the stand. So I couldn't use a stand to stand him up. So be warned, he's got balance issues. Now looking closer at this head sculpt, there is an issue with my helmet. This is supposed to be glued on both sides, and they glued it on this side, but apparently the glue didn't hold here. So, you know what I mean? I guess I could look for some crazy glue and see if I can glue this back on so it stays snug to his head. But right now it's kind of like an eyesore because there's nothing in between there. He's got no ear. He's got no beard. Whee! But otherwise, he looks pretty cool. You know, his face does look sort of narrow from up front, but from the side, he looks a lot more like the Duncan we saw on screen, which is cool. So in regards to screen accuracy, this Man-At-War is pretty much on point except for one glaring problem, and that's this front breastplate. You see these 2 grooves on either side here that are carved in? Well, that is supposed to contain gold paint. If you look at the cartoon, there's gold paint there. And since it's not on the breastplate, it's pretty glaring. But other than that, it's all pretty much spot on, including the gold gems on his belt and on his bracer, and even his blaster that comes out of his arm, which is so cool looking. And it's got this translucent yellow to red firing effect. And that looks very cool. So let's talk articulation, and let's remove this blaster effect before we do. So Man-At-War has, double jointed elbows, which is great. And he has drop down hips, which is great. But The one thing I want to warn you about is this shoulder armor. So this shoulder armor is not connected at all to the breastplate, and it's only held up by a strap that goes on the bicep. And to be honest with you, it was loose coming out of the package, so I really shoved it up there. So as you pose this, you know, at best, it's going to look awkward, and at worst, it's just going to keep sliding down. So I just wanted to warn you about that. So here is Man-Of-War with all the removable armor pieces removed. So in regards to accessories, Man-Of-War comes with a fist, comes with a swappable mace arm, and he comes with a visor. All right, so I put on the fist, the mace, and the red visor, and the red visor just slips right into the helmet. And I have to admit, he looks pretty badass now. I really like this look. Fortunately, I can't get him to stand up straight by himself still. But this is really a cool look. And I love that it's translucent in the visor and you can see his face. Here's Man-Of-War with some other Duncans. So overall, I like Man-Of-War. I really do. I do have some frustrations with his design. I do have a frustration that I'm having a problem standing him upright. And I wasn't happy with the fact that the helmet wasn't glued to one side of the face. But you know what? When you put that visor in there, it doesn't seem to matter. And I actually prefer this visor look. So maybe I have nothing to worry about in that regard. But overall, it's a very cool look for Duncan, and I'm happy I have this figure. So there we go. That's the core figures of the Masterverse WAVE 14. Do I have a favorite? Absolutely. It's the new Eternia Merman with a runner-up of the new Eternia Battle Armor Skeletor. But I do like all of these figures, but unfortunately I feel like I've become the poster child for the need of quality control. Come on, Mattel. This was not a good wave for me in regards to QC issues. Obviously, I have the helmet that's not glued on Duncan's head. I have the blurry eyes on Merman. I have all those paint issues and the crack on the side of Teela's body. And then Skeletor was the best case, but I did have some of that red eye paint on his yellow face. And you know what? If I have to lose so everyone else can win, so be it. If I'm the one who gets the bad ones so everyone else can get the good ones, I'll take the heat. But at least give me a like and a subscribe and cheer me up because... because I might have to buy another round of figures. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This is probably, you know, we won't do this again until like 7 more waves from now. But I want to thank you all for watching. Hopefully Mattel's watching, so they'll correct these issues. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.